Hello everyone, this is Data Dawn. I'm here to talk about Informatica Workflow Manager in 5 minutes. This is the Workflow Manager tool, which basically is a component of Informatica. This tool is used to design and run workflows. Workflow are nothing but a set of tasks. Okay, tasks can be anything which is including mappings, FTP jobs, or batch jobs, or shell script jobs, anything that you name it, that can be a tasks. So this is a component of Informatica. As you can see, this is the icon which will be W circle. Okay, so this is the navigation navigator window. This is the workspace which is used to design a workflow, and this is the output window which basically tells whether your workflow is valid or not valid, etc. And these are the menus, and these are different tools that you can invoke within the workflow manager. Okay, this consists of like three main tools. One is workflow designer, which is basically used to design the workflow, and worklet designer and task developer. Worklet is nothing but a set of reusable workflows. So a simple workflow, if you think that there are multiple workflow which performs the same job, then you can define a worklet. Worklet is nothing but a reusable workflow, and you can use that in your all your workflows. Task is nothing but a basic task. For example, you can see the session which can be designed in the task. Okay, it's a simple task, can be anything including a batch script, FTP job, anything that you need. Okay, so this talks about like various components that I talked in the previous slide, like workflow designer, a task developer, and worklet designer. Okay, create object that represents set of tasks is a worklet. Worklet objects are reusable. Task is basically used to create any session or cell command or an email task, anything, any kind of small task. Workflow is designer is basically used to create the workflow. Source and target connection. You can create any number of connections using the connections menu as shown in the presentation. You can create a relational connection, queue connection, FTP connection, application connection, or a loader connections. So you can configure relational database sources, targets, MQ series, queues, TIBCO, FTP, application loader, etc. These are the connections menu. Relation connections can be, you can select any type of configure any type of relational connections. Okay, which can be either native or ODBC connections. So you can define the connections properties here in this connection object definition. FTP connection can also be defined here. External loader connection, which is basically invoke loaders, external loaders like Oracle external loader, Teradata M load, or Netisa NZ load, etc. Okay, you can define the properties of those loader, so that once if the workflow runs, that loader will be invoked. Task developer, you can develop anything, like I said, a session, a command, or an email. Okay, session is basically a set of instruction to executing a mapping logic. Command is any shell OS scripting command. Email is just to send an email at any point of workflow. If a workflow fails, you want to send a mail to a support engineer, or if your workflow succeeds, you have to say that send a mail to certain business users saying that load is complete, etc. That can be achieved using email task. Session task is basically used to configure the mapping that you developed using Powercenter designer. You can create any session with the name s underscore the mapping name. Okay, it can be either reusable or non-reusable session. And you can also set the partitions in the session, which basically defines the number of nodes or number of times the program will run, which basically partitions the data and processes it, which will be much faster than the non-partitioned sessions. So when you edit a double click session, this is what it looks like. It has like various tabs. You can create a session using the task developer. Okay, you can edit the task, You can put the log file name, source file directory. You can configure the sources and targets of the mapping using the session task properties. Session config object, session sources and target. Like I said, you can give what is the username, password, what is the connection that you want to use, etc. Transformation is basically, any transformation that you've used in the mapping, like filters, joiners, etc. So this is what a session task partitions looks like. You can create a number of partitions so that the mapping will run n number of times, which would increase the processing speed of a mapping. Command task look like that. You can execute any command like touching a file or deleting a file in either Unix or DOS or NT. It's based on where the servers are hosted, basically. So these are various tabs present in the command tab. An email task is basically looks like this. You can configure the to, subject, message, etc. You can even parameterize it and provide the parameters in the param file. Workflow structure looks like this. It always has the start task as shown here and the session task, and you can have n number of tasks in between. Additional workflow component can be added using the link provided there. Okay. You can add any number of variables to the workflow so that that workflow is reusable for various tasks. You can assign integration services, as shown here. You can assign integration service to this. So that's all. I have to talk about the workflow. Designer, to run any workflow, we can just right click any workflow and then say start workflow, and then to see the progress and see the logs and everything, you have to go to workflow monitor, which I'll be taking up in a separate video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, and thanks everyone for watching my video. Thanks. Bye.